and you got lightweights, 10 rounds. You got a former champion taking on a young upcomer who has got dynamite in his hands. Jose Valenzuela. Kid is 11-0. He's got 7 knockouts, taking on the former champion, Francisco Vargas, 27-3-2. He has 19 knockouts to his credit. This should be a really, really good fight. And listen, let's get right into it. And Jose, I got to start with you because you're facing a former champion at 130 pounds. How big of a step up is this for you? That's number one. And if you're victorious, what does this say about where you are in your development?
I think this is a great opportunity. You know, Bandido Vargas, he's a hell of a fighter. He has a lot of experience. You know, he's been tested in there with the best. I remember watching him growing up, so this is a dream come true. But I think it shows and it tells everybody, you know, I'm here. I'm here to stay, and I can compete with the top guys.
Now let's talk with Francisco. And Francisco, listen, just like when you faced Isaac Cruz, you're now facing another young, another powerful fighter. Tell us why the result is going to be different this time around. Martin Bader will do the translation.
Hola, Francisco. Bueno, contanos qué es lo que va a ser distinto esta vez que estás enfrentándote a un oponente fuerte, poderoso, que seguramente va a ser un gran desafío. ¿Qué es lo que vos vas a poder corregir? ¿Qué es lo que vas a poder demostrar esta vez?
Bueno, ¿qué tal? Bueno, pues estamos trabajando aquí, ahora estamos instalados acá en Las Vegas, estamos haciendo un campamento en este lado. Creo que eso va a hacer mucho la diferencia. Estamos enfocados y sabemos que vamos a pelear con un muchacho que viene haciendo bien su trabajo, y pues estábamos haciendo una gran preparación para llegar listos a la pelea.
The fact that I'm training in Las Vegas, the way I am, with a great team, and the preparation and the adjustments that I've been making are really absolutely different than what I have been making recently, then, you know, I'm confident that I can put up a really great show on Saturday.
Jose, how important is it for you when you're facing someone that has the pedigree that Francisco has? Is it to get rounds and say, hey, look, I went all 10 with a former champion? Or in this case, is it, no, I want to make a statement and try to stop this guy?
I think make a statement, but, you know, I don't want to get carried away and you know, try to look for the knockout and then make a mistake. You know, I'm gonna stick with my game plan. If of course I can get him out of there, I will. You know, I think he's still a great fighter. He gave Isaac Cruz a run for his money. You know, he couldn't get him out of there. But you know, I think I'll be out there looking to outperform everybody he's fought.
Yeah. Francisco, listen, you're fighting a young guy who certainly wants to make his mark in this division. And what better way to beat someone of your pedigree? What about you? What are the ultimate things that Francisco Vargas wants to accomplish by winning this fight?
¿Cuáles son tus objetivos de máxima para esta pelea? ¿Qué es lo que querés lograr?
Bueno, mi objetivo es ganar la pelea, hacer una buena pelea y pues, ganar para buscar una buena oportunidad.
My main objective is to win the fight. Nothing else matters. All I want is to win the fight in order to get the best possible opportunity after it.
So here we go. We got a young, hungry fighter taking on a veteran who's been established and been at the top of the mountain. They're going to collide here on April 16th. I know members of the media have got some questions for you guys. let's bring in Mitch Abramson again from Showtime, and he will acknowledge you. Just hit the raise your hand icon, and you can ask your question.
Thanks, Brian. Let's go to Jeremy Herridge from fansided.com. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Hi, Jose. Hello, Francisco. These questions are for Jose. Jose, you talked about watching Francisco fighting when you were younger. Is it surreal to be stepping into a ring with one of those former champions that you grew up watching?
Yeah, definitely. I just remember watching him, coming up. My dad was a fan of his, and so he would put on great performances, great fights. Every time, all I can remember was just wars, and so I'm happy. I think this is the perfect opponent. I think he's gonna come to fight. I'm gonna come and fight. It's gonna be a hell of a show.
A lot of times we have the storyline where you have the youthful, emerging, young up-and-comer who's going to eventually become champion versus a former champion. Do you feel that this is pretty much the archetype for all those other examples, that this is kind of like a passing of the guard fight?
Yeah, definitely. I'm hungry. I'm young. I think he's past his prime now. I think he's on his way out. So definitely it could be like a passing of the torch, I guess you could say.
Final question for Francisco. Obviously, you've been through numerous wars. You've been in the fight game for a long time. How close to the end do you feel that you are at this point?
Has pasado por muchas batallas, has tenido muchas peleas. ¿Qué tan cerca te sentís de retiro en este momento?
Bueno, pues he tenido varias peleas. Todavía me siento bien físicamente. Creo que mi cuerpo me responde bien. Todavía no sé cuándo sea eso, pero cuando mi cuerpo ya no responde igual, pues va a ser cuando nos vamos a retirar.
I'm going to listen to my body. That's the bottom line. When I can feel that my body says no more, then that will be the time to step aside. For now, I feel like my body is just fine. I feel capable. I feel ready. And I'm going to be ready to go on Saturday, on that Saturday when the fight happens.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks for that question, Jeremy. And let's go to Jake Donovan once more from Boxing Scene. Go ahead, Jake.
Thanks, Mitch. Jose, I wanted to ask, every time I talk to David or even Jose Sr., they just rave about the training facility that you're at, that I've never seen anything like it. I just wanted to ask first what it's like to be able to train with that team, and just if you can give us like some insight as to the state of the art house and facility that you're at.
To be honest, it's a great experience. I feel like I'm young, but when I go out and I spar and I train with other fighters, I feel like I'm the veteran. But I think it's because I've been hanging around these top guys, since I was like 18, and getting to work with them, and then to be training at this beautiful mansion, Fight Star camp. It's a great opportunity. I wake up, I go walk down to the gym, train, eat my breakfast, shower. I don't have to. I get my sleep, I get rest. It's a perfect camp. I can't wait to go out there Saturday and April 16th and put on a show.
All right, great. Jose, thank you so much, and best of luck to both of you.
All right, thanks, Jake. Let's now go to Wilfredo Suarez from Boxeo Cubano.
Esta pregunta es para Francisco Vargas. Francisco, muchos están mencionando tu edad, incluyendo a José, que dice que ya tú estás fuera de tu tiempo debido a tu edad. ¿Eso te motiva de alguna forma?
Let me translate this before, déjame traducir antes de que responda. So the question for Francisco is, does the fact that Valenzuela says that Vargas is out of his prime, on his way to retirement, is that something that motivates him? Francisco, responde.
Sí, claro que sí es motivante para mí, ¿no? Porque pues a lo mejor piensan que ya estoy grande y pues sí, ya tengo cierta edad, pero pues todavía estamos ahí trabajando duro y me siento bien físicamente, ¿no? Y eso lo vamos a mostrar el próximo 16.
Gracias, Francisco.
Of course, it motivates me, but at the same time, I know how I feel, and I feel totally ready. I feel in shape physically and mentally to be up to the challenge, and I'm going to prove that to you all on Saturday, April 16th.
Jose, una pregunta, a question for you. Do you feel that because you're younger, the pressure is on you to perform against Francisco?
That's one of the reasons, another one is because I train very hard. I'm extremely focused, I'm fully focused. Even though he is past his prime, I believe, I still think he's a dangerous fighter. He has a lot of experience, so I'm taking this fight very, very seriously. I've already been in camp for like 3 months. So yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Great, thanks, Wilfredo. And we have next a question from Lennon Crisp. Lennon, I don't see your news outlet, so please identify who you're writing for. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Lennon Crisp, Sports and Culture Media. My first question is for Jose. Going into this fight, is there anything particular different you did in training camp versus what you did in like other fights?
Just tightening up a little bit. I know he has a lot of experience, so he's gonna be nice and tight with his defense. So I just also tightening up my defense, not get too wide with my punch, just like I do sometimes. But other than that, we're still working hard.
Okay. And my next question is for Francisco. Facing a young competitor in Jose, is it important to kind of keep the pace going, or is it just more trying to get the fight stopped as quickly as possible?
¿Cuál va a ser la estrategia? ¿Vas a intentar mantener el ritmo o vas a intentar salir a arrancarle la cabeza y terminar la pelea lo más pronto posible?
No, pues vamos a trabajar round por round. Estamos haciendo un buen trabajo para pelear todos los rounds.
We're just simply gonna work round by round, take things round by round. We're doing a great job in being able to withstand the whole fight if needed.
Thank you very much, and looking forward to the fight, guys.
Great. Thanks, Lennon. Appreciate it. Let's hear next from Crystal Hart. Crystal, go ahead with your question.
Oh, I think I just pressed that accidentally, but do you have anything, is everybody ready for this fight? Francisco Vargas?
So what's your question? Like if they have any additional comments, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, Francisco, ¿algún comentario adicional para esta pelea? ¿Qué te gustaría que la gente sepa?
Pues solamente que estamos haciendo una buena preparación para dar una gran pelea y pues que la pelea va a ser muy, muy entretenida.
I can promise you that it's going to be a great fight, a very entertaining fight. Fans are going to love it.
And Jose, same for you?
Yeah, I'm training extremely hard to put on a great show. I don't want to just win. I want to, look spectacular. So, keep an eye out for that.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Crystal. I think we're still waiting for the main event fighters. So if anybody has any more questions, please raise your hand. Maybe I'll throw in a question for you guys.
Hold on, Mitch. Let me get in there.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Francisco, if you could, when you're facing a young guy like this who certainly is hungry, how much does experience play in these kind of fights, and in what way does that experience help you in these kind of fights?
¿Cómo te sentís de cara a pelear contra alguien que es más joven, que es alguien que quizás le siente como que le estás pasando la antorcha? ¿Cómo es que te sentís en tu lugar de esta pelea actualmente?
Me siento bien, me siento motivado porque sé que voy con alguien más joven que yo también pasé por esa edad y sabía que cuando estaba en esa edad, pues estaba con todos mis sentidos, toda la energía lo tenía al 100%, pero pues ahora tengo experiencia, soy maduro, pero pues me motiva porque sé que tengo que llegar bien entrenado para hacerle frente.
I know what it feels like to be Jose's age. I was in his place at one point where I felt like I had all the energy in the world and basically I was gonna take over the world. But what I'm lacking in youth, I gain in experience. I have maturity now. So in this fight, you're gonna see how that cunning, that experience is gonna work in my favor.
Jose, what does it mean to you to be on this stage, pay-per-view, on probably one of the most significant fights of the year, when at the top of the card, it's a unification fight between Errol Spence Jr. and your Dennis Ugas, huge audience. What does that mean to you, especially here so early in your career?
Like I said, it's a dream come true. The whole card, I believe, is stacked. You got Errol Spence, Ugas, Isaac Cruz, So I'm very excited, I look to go out there and steal the show. Even though, those are great fighters, but it's just a dream come true. This is everything to me, everything I've worked so hard for. It comes down to this moment.
And can you see a future where eventually you see a Jose Valenzuela taking on like an Isaac Cruz, or he's got Gambo? Could you see in the future you in those kind of fights with fighters like that?
Definitely. I've been calling out. I've been saying I would like to fight Isaac Cruz before the Tank fight. He's a hell of a fighter. I respect him a lot. And it would be a great opportunity for me to get in there with him. It's definitely a big fight I think we can make.
Absolutely. Francisco, I'm just curious. You talked about getting a win and getting the biggest fights for you in the future. How much are you yearning to become a world champion again?
¿Qué tanto te motiva? ¿Qué tanto deseas el poder tener la posibilidad de ser un campeón mundial nuevamente?
Bueno, pues ese sería mi objetivo, ¿no? Es lo que me motiva. Sabemos que tenemos que ganar esta pelea, sabemos que pueden venir buenas peleas, entonces estamos trabajando para eso.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. How are you?
Well, look, the bottom line is that we know that we have what it takes to win good fights, to put up good fights, and to take each step as it comes to face the challenges that we have in front of us.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Again, this is the second fight that will come your way on the pay-per-view broadcast. We'll begin the night with Cody Crawley against Josecito Lopez, and then we roll right into Jose Valenzuela, who is
anything else for
against
today?
the former world champion
Would you
Francisco.
like to add M&M or a
Vargas.
Butterfinger for $1.15?
If Crystal Hart, if you could mute your Zoom, that would be great for us. And then we would get into the fight before the main event, which would be Isaac Cruz, the Pitbull, taking on Yuriorkis Gamboa.